The elevator that only works at night, New York, office building. The elevator doors opened on a floor that wasn't supposed to exist. Marcus Rivera stood frozen inside the elevator, his breath caught in his throat. The digital display above the doors glowed a dull red number he had never seen before. B7. There was no basement 7. Marcus knew this building. He worked security here. 37 floors. 2 basements. Parking and storage. That was it. And yet, at 2:14 a.m., the elevator had stopped on a level not listed on any map. The hallway beyond the doors was dark. Not just unlit, unfinished. Concrete walls. Exposed wires. A low humming sound that felt more like vibration than noise. The air smelled old, like dust that had never been touched. "Hello?" Marcus called out, his voice echoing too loudly. No answer. The elevator doors began to close. "Wait!" Marcus shouted, stepping forward. The doors stopped inches from closing, as if something had triggered the sensor. But there was nothing there. No body. No object. Just empty space. The elevator dinged softly. Then the lights inside flickered. And the doors opened again, wider this time. Marcus's radio crackled on his shoulder. "Marcus," his supervisor's voice said, tired and flat. "Where are you? Cameras lost you." Marcus swallowed. I'm in elevator 3. It stopped on a floor I've never seen." Silence on the line. "That's not possible," the supervisor said slowly. "That elevator's been broken all night. It shouldn't even be running." Marcus stared at the glowing buttons. Every floor number was dark except one. B7. And then, from the hallway, he heard footsteps. Slow. Dragging. Coming closer. The radio crackled again, but this time the voice wasn't his supervisor's. It sounded like him. "Marcus," it said calmly. "You're supposed to get off here." The elevator lights went out. That was the moment Marcus understood something was very wrong. But the story didn't start at B7. It started 3 weeks earlier, when the night elevator stopped working. The office building sat in Midtown Manhattan, tall and glassy, busy during the day and almost empty at night. Marcus worked the overnight shift, just him, a janitor, and one other guard watching cameras. One elevator had been acting strange. It worked fine from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. But after midnight, it either refused to move, or moved on its own. Maintenance said it was old wiring. Low power cycle issue, they called it. Cheap fix. Nothing dangerous. But the janitor told Marcus something different. "I don't take that one anymore," the janitor said one night, pushing his cart toward the stairs. "It stops where it wants." Marcus laughed it off. Elevators broke all the time. Until the cameras caught it. At exactly 1:30 a.m. every night, elevator 3 would activate. Doors opening. Doors closing. Floors lighting up. No one inside. Once, it stopped on a blank space between floors. The system log just read, "Unknown level." Marcus reported it. Management shrugged. "As long as no one's inside, who cares?" But tonight, Marcus was inside. The lights flickered back on. The hallway outside was closer now. Or maybe Marcus was leaning forward. He wasn't sure. The footsteps stopped. Something stood just beyond the elevator doors. He could feel it. The radio crackled again. His supervisor's voice returned, strained. "Marcus, whatever floor you think you're on, do not exit the elevator." Marcus pressed every button. None of them worked. Except B7. The elevator doors began to close again, slowly this time. Just before they shut, Marcus saw movement in the dark hallway. A reflection in the metal wall. A man in a security uniform. His uniform. Standing outside the elevator, smiling, waiting for him to step out. The doors slammed shut. The elevator began to move. Down. The elevator kept going down. The numbers on the display didn't change one by one like they should. They skipped. Flickered. B3. B5. B7. The hum of the cables grew louder, deeper, like the sound was coming from inside Marcus's chest instead of the walls. Stop, Marcus whispered, gripping the handrail. Please stop. The elevator did not listen. His radio hissed was static. Then his supervisor's voice broke through, shaky and afraid. Marcus, listen to me very carefully. Elevator 3 has no power. According to the system, it's been offline for hours. That's impossible, Marcus said, his voice cracking. I'm in it right now. Silence. Then the supervisor said something that made Marcus's blood run cold. Marcus, the camera just turned on. The elevator slowed. The doors opened. This time, there was no hallway. The doors opened to a wide, empty office floor, rows of cubicles, old desks, broken chairs covered in dust. The ceiling lights were on, but weak, buzzing like they hadn't been used in years. Papers were scattered across the floor, yellowed and curled. Marcus stepped out slowly. The elevator doors stayed open behind him. This floor doesn't exist, he whispered. He walked forward, his footsteps echoing. The air felt heavier here, pressing against his ears. Every desk had a computer on it. Old models. All turned on. Every screen showed the same thing. Security camera footage. Footage of Marcus. Walking the halls. Checking doors. Riding elevators. But the time stamp was wrong. The dates were from years ago. That's not me, Marcus said, even though he knew it was. A chair rolled slightly on its own. Marcus spun around. At the far end of the office, someone was sitting at a desk. Their back was turned. Hey! Marcus called. This is a restricted area. The chair slowly turned. It was him. Same face. Same tired eyes. Same security badge clipped to the chest. But the smile was wrong. Too calm. Too certain. You finally showed up, the other Marcus said. I was starting to think you'd take the stairs. Marcus backed away, his heart hammering. What is this place? The other Marcus stood up. It's the part of the building they forgot. Renovations. Floor changes. Paperwork mistakes. Happens all the time in New York. That doesn't explain you. It does, the other Marcus replied gently. Someone has to stay when the building empties. Someone has to ride the elevator at night. The lights flickered. You were never supposed to see this floor, the other Marcus continued. But you did. And once you do, the elevator works differently for you. Marcus ran. He sprinted back toward the elevator, slamming the call button over and over. The doors were still open, but the car was empty now. No, 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 Marcus gasped. Behind him, footsteps approached. You can go back up, the other Marcus said. But someone has to stay behind. The elevator doors began to close. Marcus lunged forward and dove inside just as they shut. The car jolted violently and shot upward. The numbers flashed wildly. Then silence. The doors opened to the lobby. Normal light. Normal sound. The front desk. The revolving doors. Morning traffic outside. Marcus collapsed onto the floor, shaking. Coworkers rushed over. His supervisor grabbed his shoulders. Jesus, Marcus. You just disappeared on the cameras for almost an hour. Marcus looked back at the elevator. The display was normal again. No B7. Maintenance shut elevator 3 down that day. They said it was a software error. A wiring fault. Nothing dangerous. Marcus quit the job a week later. Months passed. Life went on. But sometimes, when Marcus walks past office buildings late at night, he sees lights on where no one should be working. He sees elevators moving with no passengers. And every once in a while, at exactly 2:14 a.m., his phone buzzes with a notification from a building he no longer works in. Elevator 3 is in service. And somewhere deep below New York, a security guard in Marcus's uniform waits for the doors to open again.